Hey all, I'm pretty sure my last message to all of you, my update was me going to the hospital for a short visit. Everything was fine, it was fine until I went to go have a little shop for myself. And then afterwards, having a good time in the store I like, getting some nice things for myself and my partner. I went to try and get a taxi and it was pouring rain. Took 11 taxis, finally a 12th taxi, to finally get back to the hostel we were staying at, now in a different one. It's one that's subsidised by the hospital, which is a lot cheaper. Things don't seem to be going very well for me or my partner. Just that's the way it feels at the moment. Everything just happens and we get left on the short end of the stick. We're trying to sell our house, which is what happened. We were trying to do before everything happened with me and baby. We went up to the hospital in Wagga, got transferred. Kind of things went downhill from there. Family problems, that's one thing. I'm trying to work through that. Get my car sorted, which I still don't know anything about. My partner's gone back to go get work because we're not financially able to just stay up here without money. Obviously, that's not a thing. And I try to stay positive. I try to. But with everything happening, I've lost a lot of my confidence because of situations, and I'm trying to work through that by doing this kind of thing, by talking to people, because apparently getting counselling at the moment is kind of hard. Look, I'm happy that I'm not in the hospital because that would have made me so much more depressed knowing all these things. I'm happy I'm in a hostel. I don't feel trapped as much, except for the fact that I'm not in my hometown. I'm not in somewhere I know. But things still seem to just keep happening. Like that day with the 11 taxis thing. I got deranged. I got dressed up nicely, went to the hospital, wanted to go have a little therapy day, I guess you could call it, and end up ending so crap that it took me over an hour and a half to get home, or even longer. I can't remember what time I got out of the hospital, or where I went, like how long I was at that Off Your Tree shop, or how long it took me properly to get a taxi. All I know is once I finally, these taxis weren't replying to me, or couldn't get a taxi through calling, or couldn't wave one down, that it took fucking forever, and I ended up being soaked. My feet were soaked. Everything was soaked. I had an anxiety attack. I had a panic attack. Baby is still fine. He's still moving around, but me, I'm taking medication for my psychoticness, I guess, which is the mania part of my bipolar, but I'm probably going to ask to get antidepressants now because I feel like everything is going wrong. And I know that's how people feel a lot. And positiveness is so hard to keep up when everything just goes wrong. I love to walk around. I also love to drive, but I haven't got my car up here. And I guess doing this at the moment is kind of being real. Because I'm not always happy and light. I try to be. But that's just not how life is. I went for a walk yesterday to go do something. And it wasn't a long walk at all. And I had this nice little handbag that I bought from the store I went to the other day, Off Your Tree. It's a cute little bag. Holds quite a little bit in it. I always, whenever I get handbags like it, I never have it on one shoulder. I always have it over both shoulders, just because I've had people try to steal them before, all that shit. doesn't mean I always think it's going to happen, but it's just a safety precaution. And not even 100 meters away from where I was going, which was a 7-Eleven, because everything else was shut because I forgot it was a Sunday. My time in my head is literally gone. I was listening to music, and all of a sudden I felt a tug on my handbag. This woman, who doesn't look very well, looks like she's on drugs. Obviously, she was. I'll tell you that later, in a minute, anyway. And she kind of like trips over herself, turns around, and because in that moment I had so much adrenaline, I kicked her down low, pretty much in the vagina, and I just didn't want her anywhere near me to affect my baby or to hurt me. Kicked her there, and then grabbed her head and put her into the concrete. And I'm not very violent. I hate being violent. But in that situation, when someone is trying to steal your stuff and turns around to attack you, you do whatever you can. And then her partner came running out. She was dazed. Her partner came running out and just like asked what the fuck happened, kind of thing. Like, I thought it was going for me at first, and I turned around and I'm just like, that was not my fault. She tried to grab my purse and then turned around to try and attack me. So I did what came to my head, and that was what came to my head. And, you know, I'm pregnant, I shouldn't be doing with this kind of thing. And he understood, and he was actually a good person. He was just trying to understand what happened. Apparently she's meant to go into rehab or whatever. Which, you know, I didn't really care about because that's none of my business. I kind of in my head, like, why me? And I don't really carry my on me. I carry it, like, digitally at the moment because the fact that, well, it's one, it's where we're going into, and two, because of people like that. Anyway, obviously it took me a while to calm down, and my partner messaged me to see if I was okay, and I let him know. He came and met me up there. But I shouldn't feel scared like that. I should feel like I'm independent enough to be able to do that. I don't like being an independent person. I like to be able to do things on myself because it's just, you can't always depend on people. They've got things to do. Like, some people sometimes aren't in the right mind frame to do what you want to do. It's just the way the world is. And then, obviously, like, I did what I had to do, went to 7-Eleven, met my partner, we did what we wanted to do, kind of thing. Went back to the hostel, that's fine. He ended up leaving in the morning to go home for work. That's that kind of thing. And I came back, and obviously, like I said to him, I'm going to be upset. I know it's I sending him home, but, like, I'm in a place I don't know. I don't like Sydney that much. I don't mind visiting it, but no way would I ever live here. And these kind of things can happen anywhere. But in the last whatever time being here, there's been so much negativity and, like, so much stuff feeling like it's dragging us down. And, like, today I just wanted to go get something to eat, so I did. And then I was in Kmart looking at stuff, and an old guy, like really old, I don't know how old, maybe in his 70s, I don't know. I was in the bra section for women's, obviously. Bra section for men's, yeah. And this old guy came up to me and decided to tell me I'm wearing, like, these really nice shorts from Katrine. We should feel fine to wear things like that as long as you're not putting, you know, your whole everything out there, which I wasn't. Came up to me and was just like, you have a nice ass, kind of thing. Wow, you have a nice ass. And I just looked at him really offended, like, that is very inappropriate, fuck off. Leave me alone. And he's like, why are you being so rude? Because you're being inappropriate, mate. And I walked out of the store, went to the security, and told them, you know, later on said to me and walked out, whatever. It's not like I couldn't deal with it or anything like that. I'm just anxious in that kind of situations. How do I know who he is? How do I know if he's a sex offender or what his intentions are? Like, there are many young women that go to any store like Kmart and other places. Like young kids go to those places and wander around sometimes. That's not okay. It's not okay at all. But, you know, did that, and of course there are so many rude people in these places that just barge by you and all this stuff. But that stuff I can pretty much deal with on a daily basis because it's just stuff that happens. Other than like the whole man coming up to me and just telling me I have a nice ass, like that's stupid. Man, one, you don't know if I've got a partner or not. You don't come up to me and say that. Two, you're old as all hell. It sounds disgusting. It's inappropriate. Don't do it. Made me feel so disgusting. Like I shouldn't try to feel nice with myself. Like I shouldn't try to wear nice clothes. But, you try not to let those things discourage you. And I'm meant to be at home organizing a house to be sold so we can get our lives back on fucking track. So sick of being dragged down all the time. I just don't want it anymore. I don't want my house anymore. It's a place that I got so much abuse and just disheartened and felt like I was nothing in. It's not like as though I don't have good things in my life. I have a great partner. I have 2 beautiful children, another baby coming. Like, that's obviously caused difficulties, but that's more my body than him. I'm not doing it again, though. It's just so hard to be positive. I have these cats at home that have caused this mess that I couldn't take care of like I would have if I was there. Like, it's all these things you can't take control of that is the problem. I can't control what other people are thinking. I can't control what other people are doing, especially when I'm not there. And that's the stupid thing. You shouldn't have to. Or, like, you shouldn't have to tell people what they're doing is inappropriate. Because they should already know coming up to a young woman in a store when you're, like, in your 70s, 80s, whatever age you are, and coming up to them and pretty much stating that you were just staring at my ass or whatever. And then I have a nice, but I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. I know that myself, but that's not really myself. And I think that I have an alright figure. You don't need to say it. It's creepy and inappropriate. Like, Jesus Christ. I want to know what's going on in my life. I want to know what's going on with this car that my nan helped me, or that she tried to control me with. Like, and I've got nothing from that. And January is the cut-off month when the reg is due, and I'm not the one really properly paying for it. I don't have a job. I don't have the money. My partner and his brother are the ones that are probably pretty much paying for it. I'm probably putting only a little bit into it because of the fact that I don't get much. And I can't know until my nan decides to just finally tell someone or tell me. Like, I'm a half in, a half mind, even though I'm not meant to, not allowed to at the moment from doctors, to talk to her, to just call her up and be like, can you stop being immature and let me know? Because otherwise, I don't know what to do. I haven't got the papers, so I can't register into my name. I don't know. It's going to be sent to her, not me. I shouldn't have even asked, honestly. And at that point where I just should have just been like, you know what, we'll just struggle. Like, there's other circumstances as to reason why we wanted a car, or why I wanted a car. And, like, I can't even tell my nan because she's just so immature right now. I don't give a shit if she works. I don't give a shit if she pays the bills. I don't give a shit if she owns a freaking house. She's being the most immature person in the world, and I reckon she's got bipolar herself or some kind of split personality disorder because she needs to drink to feel better. And I don't care this stuff is out here because otherwise I can't properly function. I need counselling at the moment, and I'm happy to say that on this platform because of the fact that it needs to be said. I'm actually at a point, like, just updating you all on how I feel, that I just don't I have all these plans that I want to put in place, and I know I can do them. I know that me and my partner can do them. I know we can push through them. It's just we we keep getting put in things in situations where it's not viable to worry about that at the moment because this is more important health situations going on, like little baby and money, and money is probably the biggest devil in the world, other than mental illnesses and disabilities and all these stupid things that go on in life that we just get given. And I'm not religious. See, I believe that if there was such a thing as God, that he wouldn't be this cruel, and he is. If he apparently is real, that makes me even hate that idea more. And I don't tell people what to believe. They can have their own faith. Hey, I believe in ghosts and things like that. I always believe in spirits, but I don't believe in that kind of spirit. And that is my belief. And I'm sorry if that offends people, but that's just the way that I believe. Like, it's just me. You can believe in whatever you want to believe in. That is on your plate, not mine. But I just don't understand why life wants to keep throwing these mountains in our road when I think we're good people. I think we try our best to help people. I think we try our best to be good for ourselves. But every person I'm talking to right now as my friends or they're like family to me or whatever has some pretty hard problems in their lives right now. And it's so disheartening to hear because most people I know are amazing people and do everything in their lives to, be better and love the world kind of thing and try to be positive and I don't go do charity all the time because the fact that we don't have that kind of money. And even if we did, you need to make sure that you're fine first, not the other way around. Like the world is fine before you're fine. That's not right. Especially when you have kids, and especially when you have your own problems. Like that's just not viable. But as much as I like to be on this channel vlog thing to uplift and stuff like that, I do feel those feelings, and I do. Sometimes, some days, I can't be positive. I want to be. I try to be. But some days I just sit there in this numb state of mind going, have I done something wrong? Let me know how you feel in these situations. Like I'm probably going to put another part up at some point, but I just need to talk it out. I'm at a point at the moment where I think as soon as I get home, I'm going to be very hard on everybody. I'm going to want things done quickly. I want to get out of my house. I want to move forward. 2022 has to be better. I'm sick of being in the same spot, just like my partner has said to me many times. Yes, it's made me depressed because I feel like with these kids that we've raised, we did a great thing, and him getting a job that he loves is a great thing. That's still moving forward. I just don't think I have. I want to. I want to have a job. I want to be a working woman. I want to be able to put my children in childcare without being a problem. Like daycare, that's what I mean. I don't want to feel like as though I'm weak. And it's a hard thing to feel. Anyway, thanks for listening and let me know how you feel in these situations. Like, subscribe, comment, interact. Honestly, anything is great. Want to hear your stories as well. See you next time, guys.